Is that both the State Department and the FBI looked into this, and there was no bargain even suggested by these two individuals.
Why did they use the term? Why was the term quid pro quo used? I mean, it's one thing to suggest it looks like quid pro quo. There it is, quid pro quo.
Why don't we do this, Admiral? Why don't we show the viewers at home the exact email, and they can make up their own minds. Look at this. It says the agent, his name's not there, advised that in exchange for marking the email unclassified, State will reciprocate by allowing the FBI to place more agents in countries where they are presently forbidden. So you do this for us. You change it. You declassify that secret email, and we'll put more FBI agents in the Middle East for you guys. If that's not quid pro quo, I don't know what is.
And the term was used.
If that in fact had happened, yeah, you're right. But it wasn't a quid pro quo. And the individual. But the individual, well, let me finish now. The individual who said that wasn't one of the two individuals involved in the conversation. Pat Kennedy and the other FBI official was not the person who gave this interview. I can't speak to what that individual remembers or how they remember it. What I can tell you is we've looked into this. There was no quid pro quo even suggested. There wasn't even an inkling of that. And the FBI said the same thing. In fact, the FBI gave a very detailed statement right after this story broke that explained in detail how this came about.
Okay, but would you argue as well that Patrick Kennedy never asked for it to be declassified so that he could then essentially, as the story goes, put it in the basement of the Department of State and nobody would ever see it? Was there an action on the part of the Department of State to declassify it so that it wouldn't be, looked as a problem having been on Hillary Clinton's illegal email server?
Not exactly. What Pat did talk to the FBI about was this particular email, which we did not believe warranted to be secret. We did not think it deserved to be classified at the secret level. The FBI obviously had a different view. We ended up losing that argument. The FBI won. It was classified secret and was heavily redacted. You can see it on our website. It's right there. We did not believe it needed to be. They thought it should be, so obviously we deferred to them. The fact that we had debates and discussions inside the interagency over the classification over some of these emails is nothing new. It happened quite a bit in the release of the 55,000 pages. This was just one example of exactly that kind of interagency debate and discussion. We frankly disagreed with their view, but they won the argument.
Admiral, part of the reason is I know you can understand this, is there's so much at stake. We want to find out if maybe the future president of the United States would be that irresponsible when it comes to top secret information. Number one, setting up your server, the American people can decide. Number two, sending in surrogates perhaps to make sure you don't look bad as you try to get the presidency is something else. You can understand how people could look at this and say, what was really going on behind the scenes? Would we ever have known this if it wasn't for WikiLeaks and these hacks?
Well, listen, Brian, I do understand, and I certainly understand the curiosity that is raised about this, the concern that is raised about this, but honestly, there just was nothing there, and nobody can call Pat Kennedy a surrogate for anything other than the United States of America and the State Department. He's been a loyal public servant now for going on 4 decades, and he's a very, very dedicated man to his job, and he was simply doing his job in debating with the FBI what our view on this particular email was.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, why is he still working there if he's behind all of this, but you're saying it never happened. It was just a conversation. It was not even in an email.
He's behind nothing other than trying to serve the American people through the State Department. Okay, you have to
understand why the American public, all of our viewers, are so frustrated with what's happening. Can't you understand that?
I can understand when the press coverage on this certainly broke. I can understand the concern, which is why I asked to come on your show today to try to explain it to your viewers. There was no bargain stop.
So, Admiral, when you do leave, are you going to take a lamp or a couch? Like, why is it that Hillary Clinton is allowed to take this stuff with her? What's the future? What is the story behind that?
Look, I can't speak for that. I can tell you that whenever my time is up, I intend to take a nice nap. Let's put it that way.
I would take the lamp. It's smaller. Right. You could probably transport it.
Is that usual for a secretary to leave with furniture?
Look, as I understand it, those were her personal belongings that she brought from home to decorate her offices and then took them back again. I mean, I got stuff I hang on my wall that I intend to take with me because it's mine.
As long as it's hers, as long as she paid for it and we, the taxpayer, did not.
As I understand it, these were her belongings.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Admiral.
All right. Have a good day. Thanks for dropping by. Straightening things out.
Good to be with you.
Okay.
All right.